So we'll come back now as to where do we get this traffic. Now this slide is the same one I showed you guys earlier today, okay? Remember earlier today we talked about building your own platform where you're out there talking and you're going to build a big following in one of these 5 areas, right? Either email, Facebook, YouTube, podcasts, and blog, okay? This has everything to do with traffic because this is what you're doing to develop traffic. And again, this is where traffic is at on the internet. So we talked about one way is finding the sites that people are advertising on. Okay, a lot of these sites are blogs. Okay, when you start digging into this, you'll be like, man, they're buying banner ads on other people's blogs. That's all we're doing right now is other people have built up this big following. They're attractive characters, they're news sites, whatever they're on, they have all these people and they're coming to read this blog and we're just buying ads on their site, right? That's the newspaper thing. So this same concept works though really well with email. So I'm gonna come back through, we're gonna start at the top, kind of go back down. So one cool thing that we found is when we were trying to reverse engineer our neuropathy product, right? We're trying to find out the exact same thing. I took it through this process. I found all our competitors. I found a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And we found a couple sites that one of our competitors was buying ads on. And at the time, I had never bought banner ads before, and we were kind of nervous, but we wanted to test it out. But the one thing that we're really good at in our company, I think we're much better at this than banner ads, is we're really good at buying email ads, okay? So we went to these sites, and they were buying ads on like a conservative Republican news site. We're like, awesome, these guys are buying ads right here on the thing. I wonder if there's an email list, like this blog or this news site, I wonder if they have an email list. So in that little advertise button at the bottom we clicked on, sure enough, they got a whole bunch of stuff. You can buy banner ads on our site, you can buy emails on our site, whatever. So for us, we gravitate more towards email, okay? Because my favorite thing about email is I can buy an email and within a day, I know if it worked, it comes fast. It's like a big surge of traffic and you can see things really, really fast. So for me, that's my personal favorite way to test an offer and get it out fast. So we started going to these sites that have our target demographic on them, and they've got an email list, and we're buying ads directly in the email lists. That makes sense? So for you guys, you reverse engineer, you say, okay, here's the health site that these guys are buying ads on. They also have an email list. Maybe I can rent that email list and put ads in that as well, okay? And again, email for me is by far my favorite, especially when we're trying to test out a funnel, because you can get results really, really fast. The banner ad stuff I just showed you guys is good, but for me, it takes a little longer. There's more variables that you can still kind of screw up. So I usually start initially with email and then Facebook, which John's going to talk about here in a second. But we start like that, okay? So in each of your markets, as you guys are doing some of this research, I promise you that in every market, if you come back to this slide, with direct and indirect people, right? Who of your direct competitors has an email list? Okay, a lot of times your direct competitors won't promote your products because there's too much of a conflict. But which one of your indirect competitors have an email list? Okay, for email, usually we're targeting the indirect. So I'm selling the weight loss ebook. I'm going to find a guy selling the weight loss supplement to promote my ebook because it doesn't conflict with him. And people are the same target market. He's going to make a bunch of money promoting that. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? And so one of the best ways from day number 1 of your business is you should be joining every single email list in your market because you want to find out what lists are out there, what people are promoting, what they're selling, and. Back. So with email, basically 2 core things that we do with email. Okay, I talked to you guys about the strategy of building your own email list. I think you guys all get that pretty strong. So the next thing is just like you, if you got a list of 100,000 people and you send an email out, you're going to make money. There are tons of people out there in almost every single market you can dream that have email lists the exact same way. And almost all of them will let you do one of 2 things. Number 1, you can come up to those guys and say, hey, you got a big, huge email list. How would you like to send an email out and sell my product, and I'll pay you a commission on each of those, right? Pretty basic. We call it an affiliate or a joint venture partner. Okay. My very first product I ever created, I didn't have a list. I didn't know how to drive traffic, but I met this guy. He had an email list of like 15,000 people. I was like, hey, man, this is my product. I'll give you 100% commission to sell it. He was like, why would you give me 100% commission? I'm like, I don't know. You should just do it. And in my head, I was like, amateurs focus on the front end. You got 100%, just sell it. So he sent an email out to his list. He sold a whole bunch of them. I gave him all the money he made from it, and guess what I got? 217 subscribers. That might seem like a big deal to you guys, but that was the beginning of my business. I had people, I had an audience now. Now all this attractive character stuff, I have someone I can like give it to, like, hey guys, I'm awesome, this is why. And all of a sudden these little group of people started liking me. And I went to the next guy, I'm like, hey, you got a big email list, this is my product, converts really, really good. I'll give you 100% to promote it. They're like, all right. I'm sure they're thinking to me like, what a moron. Like, you don't make any money when you give 100% away, but amateurs focus on the front end, right? And I understood that. So they'd promote it, and boom, all of a sudden I got, they promote my offer, get all the money, but I got a list. And I kept doing that, and I kept doing that. And eventually my list was 1,000 people, and then 5,000, and then 10,000. Now we're over 500,000 people, okay? And that's kind of one really good strategy. Now, you don't always have to give an affiliate person 100%, but most people who get in this business, they err on the other side. And they're like, oh, I'm going to pay my affiliate 10%. Okay? There's not many affiliates who get excited about 10%. And if they don't promote your thing, then guess what you get? You get nothing. Okay? If our goal is on our initial funnel to break even, give them 100%, give them 50%, give them 80%, whatever that number is, give them as much as they want, because your goal is not to make money initially. Your goal is to build a list so you can make money on everything else, right? So affiliates are a great way to do that. Now, a lot of people, they don't do affiliate things for whatever reason, okay? And so for those people, I come back to them and say, hey, okay, well, you don't do affiliate stuff. Well, can I buy an ad in your list? How about I write an ad, I give you a whole bunch of money, and you just send an email out to that list, and I keep all the money. And for whatever reason, a ton of people like doing this. It's crazy. We call them solo ads, okay? And there's literally people that will sell you solo ads in their email list in almost every market I've ever tried to do it in finance market, in health, nutrition, weight loss, and make money, and they're all over the place. In the BizOp, how to make money market, David and I were talking about this yesterday, like there's so much that's happening that I think the quality's dropped down, but in other businesses, like it's crazy. We had for our Neurocell, one of our first ads. You remember, Brent, I think you spent $3,000 for the ad. We ended up making like 15, 20,000. Like it was like 5 or 6 times our money back on the front end. I was just like, this is like Christmas. And these lists are out there everywhere in all of your markets, you guys. Okay? And so we find them and say, hey, this is the deal. You got an email list. How much do you charge? And a lot of times they're like, hey, it's $1,500. Send an email to my list. Like, all right, you write them a check, send an email to their list. And within a day, all these people come through, and you know if your offer is going to work. Okay? You start getting money back, you break even, you make a profit, whatever it is. But it happens really, really fast. Okay? So for me personally, my favorite way to drive traffic is email. I think it's the fastest, the best, the easiest. That's what I always personally focus on first. Some of you guys, it's not going to be that way. Some of you guys like Facebook. Some of you guys like the banner ads. Everyone's kind of gravitates towards their favorite thing, and that's fine. That's why we're kind of sharing all these different strategies with you. But email is the one that I focus on the most. So this question was, do we have a rough formula for how much we want to pay on an email list? So that is, it's hard to give you an exact number because there's so many variables, like what market, what list, there's a whole bunch of things. So what we normally do is, in each market, not every market, but a lot of markets, there's like list brokers that work in those markets, and basically come to them and they kind of negotiate on your behalf. Or you can go directly to the person you're trying to negotiate, but it changes a lot. Brent's on our team that buys all the ads. What would you say is like an average, what's a good average we can give people on? What's cool about it is like he was saying, like the more specific you're getting, the more expensive you're going to do. But if you can create an offer that's more mass appeal, so like our neuropathy is nerve pain, right? A lot of people have nerve pain. Weight loss, a lot of people want to lose weight. Make money, a lot of people want to make money. And so again, everyone's like, I don't want to go in the hyper-competitive markets. But the hyper-competitive markets are the best because I can buy for a lot cheaper a bigger list. And if it appeals to more people, it's going to be cheaper for me. I can get more people in the funnel. The more specific you are, the more expensive it is. But you can also target and get that. Like our health-related lists will be twice as much money as like a general list. But usually on the health-related lists, they have health problems and will make way more money. So it kind of plays with that. How do you find a list broker? I would guess you go to Google and type in list broker, or just ask around. We work with list brokers in the BizOp space. So like Dagan Smith's great in the BizOp space. He runs a site called the Home Business Agency. It basically fuels like every MLM out there. In the personal development space, we use a guy. Personal development also like survival lists and kind of that market is growing. Brian Littman's, who we use at dedicatedemails.com. So if you have any kind of personal development offer, weight loss offer, survivalist offer, things like that, they do really well. Another guys we use is Jack Whalen. What's their company name? Or Jim Whalen, sorry. Is that the company name is Jim Whalen, or is it James Whalen Agency? They do a lot of like the financial, survival, the news list, things like that. We've got guys in the like finance space. So there's a lot of different list brokers. So we use them direct. A lot of times though, there's not list brokers. Like when we first started doing Neurocell, we were looking for diabetes lists. And there's not like, at least I haven't found like a broker who just deals with diabetes lists. So I just went into Google. I literally typed in diabetes, advertising, email, something like that. And on the top 10 page, there's like 3 or 4 people that were like, we have diabetic lists. Here's our advertising rates, and all that stuff came up. So a lot of times it's just doing a little searching and kind of looking for it. and you can find sites direct again. And just like with the banner ads, you go direct to the site as opposed to working through a network. But I would say for a lot of you guys, especially if you're like me and you're impatient, you set the whole funnel up and you're like, okay, what's the fastest way to test this? The fastest way is email. Like let's gamble $500 or $1,000 and just see if it's going to work. And you put it in there, and what's cool, like I said, is you'll find out within hours a lot of times. Like when we first in January, we did our first test with the new NeuroCell funnel. The ad went out at what time, Brent? Do you think it was like 5 or 6 in the morning? So by the time we got to the office, we showed up and Brent said, it was like 10 a.m. He's like, dude, we just broke even. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's 10 a.m. He's like, yeah, we just broke even. I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be awesome. And it's been a ride ever since then. Okay, because by 10 a.m. we'd already broken even. And after that, I think we tripled over that first day. We're like, this is great. And we started just running. So you never know what's going to happen until you test it.